Okay, let's pretend that I didn't just disappear for like 200 years and made like 5 drafts on this video and suffered crippling OCD it's just great to see you all again. I don't know what's been going on in your world, but please tell me that you've been doing all right. Yes. Where did we leave off? The ENFP video. Okay. Why am I so nervous? So I've been teasing this video since well before the Big Bang, it feels like, and I looked out into space and Signore told me, "Hey, you freaking bumbo dumbo! Can you hurry this up? We have to get this video out there before we die of old age." So I took my ass and I fed him grass, and then I sat down and I went to study more about the ENFP. So I looked into the World Wide Web, the interweb, and even the deep web for pictures of spiders. And when that didn't work out, I spent some time looking into the cognitive functions for the ENFP. I reflected upon my conversations with my longtime ENFP friend. I've looked through various ENFP videos. I took a bunch of notes. I looked at my notes, and then I said, all right, I think I know what to say about this type. Actually, I really don't, but I think I'm just going to wing this. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is their demeanor, their energy, their vibe. I don't believe that they're anywhere near as hyperactive as a lot of MBTI enthusiasts out there might think. They're not unicorns. They don't fart cotton candy. They don't run on walls on a whim. I mean, if anything, they might dress slightly more colorful and flashy than a typical human, but that's about it. If I were to describe their energy level, it would be like this. If I made a scale on the spot, and this side would be absolute zero, and this side would be the dangers of crack cocaine, I think the ENFP's energy would be like being wrapped in 3 layers of blankets on a cold night, and that would be a few notches ahead of warm brown toast. And I need to pause here and say that I do not condone any drug use, and I better not see any of you partake in any drug use of any kind unless recommended by a health professional. It's just that the words dangers of crack cocaine made me chuckle, and that's my problem. Anyways, getting to know the ENFP. Generally, it is true that they want to expose themselves to as many concepts and ideas as they so choose, as it seems to me that they feel personally fulfilled by partaking in that sense of adventure. I use the word personally because the thing I feel that people overlook about the ENFP is their sense of identity and, the role that personal identity plays in their everyday existence and their random explorations. I think there is a silent but powerful resonance within them, a sort of internal compass, their brand of depth, if you will, that keeps them somewhat grounded. So yeah, I mean, they could be social, but it doesn't seem too often that they would go out of their way to talk to you unless they've built rapport with you or were curious about something. They could be bubbly, though they have no issue keeping to themselves. They could have a massive circle of acquaintances, but a small circle of friends. They don't mind small talk, but perhaps they view small talk as a gateway to the deeper conversations that they seek. And so here I am, a personality type whose cognitive stack is more prone to, constant deconstruction of concepts and more recently my values, to find insight through the nuance. And that's sort of my brand of depth. And apparently when I express this process by conversing with my ENFP friends, they seem to enjoy it. And so I've been fortunate enough to have been in some ENFP's inner circle of friends, and having an ENFP as a close friend is weirdly cool. I say weirdly because the first thing that comes to mind is that they seem to always want to hang out with you, or at least that's the case with my ENFP friends. I guess given their top functions, it's safe to say that they like to share their love of exploration with a few trusted companions. And when I do accept their invitation, they would definitely plan the date, the time, the place to meet. But beyond that, they would leave everything to chaos and just improvise and or go along with whatever you want to do next, which is also weirdly cool because in that sense, there really is no pressure to have everything go well, which makes the ENFP, in my eyes, one of the most easygoing people to be around, which is why I put them in the easygoing tier. Can I also point this out real quick? When they forget or lose something, like their keys for example, I don't know if they backtrack to the last place that they've seen it. They seem more likely to have this, I guess, haphazard map of assigned places of where they could have put them. And it's like their memory has some sense of proprioception. Yeah, I don't know where else to plot this point in my video. So another weird thing is that when we're in the conversation and I start to ramble about whatever rabbit hole of a topic that we went down, it's not that they completely tune out, but they seem to not keep track of or even care about what I'm saying, but it's the fact that I'm rambling in the first place and that I'm into it that they're receptive to. I'm guessing that given their dominant function is so associated with enthusiasm, however that may be manifested, it follows that they're also receptive to said enthusiasm. Yeah, I'm really lost here. I need a break. Trivia time! Why does an ENFP's extroverted thinking seem to turn on and off so randomly? I don't know either. I want to talk more about their sense of individuality, as it seems like a major part of who they are. It's an axiomatic element. It's a spirit that they hold so firmly that if you were to tell them to follow anything else, that message would pretty much go in one ear and out the other. It's their own brand of stubborn. But it doesn't mean that they will never change. It's more along the lines of if they wanted to change, then they would have to do so of their own accord, in their own time. That's sort of one aspect that I've come to really like about them. Another aspect is their natural sensitivity to the inconsistencies of many branches of conventional thought. It's pretty interesting when I see this in our conversation. You know, when we comment on any trending paradigm of today, let's say, I don't know, cancel culture, they would look at it, think about it, look confused, and then come to the thought of, you know, there's something more to this. There's something off about this, and people are not talking about it. I mean, that's a sentiment that I'm getting from them, but they wouldn't explicitly say it like that. I mean, if I had to point out something here, it's that they have trouble precisely articulating how they feel or what they think about a certain topic. And so when they sort of get into the vicinity of what they want to talk about, when they bring up a bunch of points that go into that general area, then I would end up finding that tricky nexus, if you will, and that's how we manage to figure things out. But in the moments where we can't figure it out, you'd have to look no further than our dominant pairings. One's dominant pairing is the other's blind spot, and this is pretty much the crux behind our misunderstandings and our ensuing arguments. And this is especially true for younger variants of these types. Not nearly as much for us relatively older folks, but I'll talk about that another time. But anyways, how does this conflict manifest in real life? Well, I would slap him in the goddamn face! When we were younger and we didn't know anything about human psychology yet, and My Chemical Romance was a thing, and Borat hit theaters, and all the kids brought their Rubik's Cubes to school, our arguments typically went like this. So we would ruminate about a given topic. You know, one of us brings up XYZ, the other expands upon XYZ. ENFP has a grandiose idea. ISFJ tries to bring up little obstacles that might get in the way of realizing said idea. ENFP's sentiment is basically, why are you putting a wrench in my labor of love? ISFJ would be like, hold on, but what would happen if you went through with this? And then this is where it all starts to fall apart and it gets tragic and the conversation goes sour. So in my experience, my ENFP would get to the point where he would not know how to stop playing around, poking and prodding for a gotcha moment, finding needless flaws to break my train of thought, stirring up some controversy just for the sake of it, and this playfulness and restlessness would get to the point where it's simply insufferable. And meanwhile, you know, because I'm not off the hook here either, let's be honest, I would progressively get more and more snarky and insensitive, and I'd give into the stereotype and become more controlling, and eventually when the argument reaches a boiling point, it would have turned into a shouting match, and I would end up throwing every variant of the word fuck to make him understand how pissed off I was. Okay. I need to calm down. Excuse me. Let me make a call real quick.
Oh damn, look at all the frickin' string cheese. Woo! Oh hey, it's Mista. Hey bestie, what's up?
What? That was so sudden. I'm pretty sure he'll get back to me later. Let me get back to my music.
Good job, ENFP. You made it through your semester. You took 6 classes but dropped out of 3. Yeah, you could have done it better. But yeah, you did it. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, Doodle. Let's all dress like David Bowie and get some bubble tea, homie.
Oh, piss off. Yeah. I pretty much did that out of nowhere, and I know that he knows that I'm going to have to come back and explain myself. I mean, why did I have to do that in the first place? I mean, I was just making a video and he was playing with his string cheese. Don't ask me how I know that. I mean, Jesus. What am I supposed to do?
Mr. Mystic, did I just hear you use my brethren's name in vain?
Thor! Yeah, I did, and I do apologize, but why are you speaking on his behalf?
Because he is playing Uno with Buddha in the hills of Greenland. But because somebody was being a huge bumbo dumbo and decided to fill the deck with only reverse cards, they are in perpetual stalemate. I was suffering greatly, and so I walked out of that boring-ass game.
That pretty much explains why the world's been insane lately. Anyways, why did you go specifically to me? And are you gonna help me finish this ENFP video?
The great editor never provided a reason for why I was tasked with going to you. But who am I to question the great editor? And to your second question, absolutely not. Do you think I look like your father, Carl Jung?
Hey Mr. Mystic, what the hell is going on? The editor guy brought me here in the middle of a meeting and my arm hair stood up. Oh hey Thor.
What's up?
And what the hell happened this time? And Thor showed up. What the hell is going on?
Okay, look. I said Jesus, and then he rolled in and said not to. Okay? And then I asked why he was speaking for him, and he said because he's playing cards with Buddha at Narnia.
Greenland!
Yeah, Greenland. But anyway, I ended up walking here because I freaking had another quarrel with my ENFP friend.
Oh great, what is it this time?
I called him a freaking butthole.
You called him a freaking... Okay, that one caught me. Maybe he deserved it. But listen, this thing between you and your friend, this is every week with you two. Every week! And you two always make up the same day, and it's sappy and it makes me want to slap myself, okay? And I always figure it out because I just do, okay? If you two bumbo dumbles just took 5 seconds to get your head out of your own asses and just listen to what the other guy was saying, maybe you wouldn't be in this frickin' predicament-dicky, whatever the hell you call it.
Yeah. I have to be honest. I already got that point when I got here like 5 minutes ago. But thank you anyways. I suppose I always need a refresher.
Yeah, whatever. That's number 1. Number 2, I need to get the hell out of here. I got a client waiting, and I got a life to get to. You ever heard of it?
Oh, of course, but I have to get back too. I got a video to make.
And what do you suggest I shall do? Because I am not getting back to that boring-ass game.
I don't know, talk to Signore?
You better freaking not.
I shall.
Haha, alright, I gotta go. I'll see you guys.
I'm gonna freaking kill you, mister!
Alright, where were we? So, even with all our differences and potential, I guess, blow-up risk, How does an ENFP and ISFJ manage to maintain their friendship over years, decades even? Well, for one, we need some distance because both types need time to themselves to process things, as well as cross-reference what they've experienced with what they already know. We need some room for expression and reflection, and pretty soon we come to our own revelations and solutions related to what the other type brought up that we may not have on our own. Which leads me to say that yes, we ISFJs and ENFPs will arrive at very similar lines of thinking. It's just that we'll be getting there from very different vantage points and rationale. And more often than not, we end up arriving at the same conclusions. It's like we're different lines of the same page, or different pages of the same book. I think in order to get that sweet spot in a conversation, it's best for the two types to ask open-ended questions and just sit and listen, and then the conversation will flow organically from there. No, seriously, I mean, if there's anything I've learned in my companionships with ENFPs, it's that it's imperative that you two establish and maintain a good understanding of where you're coming from. Because even when you two are saying the same thing, you'll have a different image of said thing than the other. I mean, that's kind of the hallmark of the English language, to be honest. Sometimes you'll have to stop mid-conversation or even at the hint of discomfort or confusion just to be at a mutual understanding. It sounds like a lot of effort, but I mean, if you like each other's company, then it shouldn't be a problem, right? So what did we learn from each other? For me, I just learned to expand my scope of reasoning and ability for world building, and I realized that if I were to just look, 5 degrees in any direction or increase my radius of observation by just 5 units, I would definitely find something that would help solve my problems much more quickly and efficiently. And that it's okay to improvise and, get things wrong, and that the vast majority of humanity will not be relevant to or even aware of what I'm thinking about. Which at first I thought was kind of cruel, but in the end is a pretty big relief. As for my ENFP friend, he learns how to ground himself a lot more, set more realistic expectations for himself and others, learn to think in first principles, and he also finds out that the nuance in what is already known could also be potentially another adventure. With that being said, I think ENFPs are very capable of sticking to one thing at a time. They could definitely commit to one pursuit if that one pursuit holds a lot of, different challenges and avenues for growth. Fitness is one such pursuit. So is learning another language. So is exposure to a medium of art. The possibilities are there, which is why I put them in the world is my oyster tier. And I suppose that's all I have to say about this dynamic. In conclusion, the ISFJ and ENFP dynamic is fun, then frustrating, then potentially transformative and very rewarding, and sometimes everything all at once. This is a dynamic that requires a lot of patience and understanding, but it definitely gets easier over time, assuming that you two will give it time. It's a dynamic where the two will have each other's back, because cognitively, one will have what the other will lack. Step on a cracky and you break your mama's back.
I chip my tooth on a piece of hardtack. Knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog bones. Bad boys, bail bonds, thank you for the loan. What am I saying? This video ends. Excuse me, I gotta phone a friend.
Hey bestie, I was just about to call you.
Hey buddy, how are you? Listen, about earlier. I was doing a video and I was at the part where I started getting mad and yeah, that all happened.
Oh, okay, that's totally cool. How are you feeling now?
Oh, I'm perfectly fine now.
Oh, nice. That's good. Hey, you want to hang out today?
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm done recording now. Do you want to get some bubble tea right now?
Yeah, bubble tea sounds good. I'll meet you in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds good. Are you gonna dress up like David Bowie?
Oh, shut the hell up.
Alright, I'll see you in 30 minutes.
Okay, see you then.
Alright. By the way, did you throw away your string cheese wrapper? Oh, damn, he hung up.